Hello. Let me tell you a story besides how bad my hair still looks. The other day, I was in a sales meeting and in my company, and I was talking about a couple of prospects, one that I lost, which no fault of my own, his son who and I didn't know this guy well enough to lose it based on anything other than this. But this his son has started taking over parts of the business, which is his succession plan, and he's made a relationship with an insurance person. So happens all the time. Nothing I did wrong, nothing I could have done more. Um, I don't know the guy well enough to have had any other conversations with him. So he said if anything happens, obviously we'd be our first, I would be his first call, but for now they want to give this other person a shot because he wants his son to start running the business, and those are the decisions that a decision maker would make. So totally get it. No hard feelings. And he mentioned that he wanted to start introducing me to some people around him so that, we could refer to each other. And then another situation is that I met someone in Wisconsin who is the director of operations and needs a specific type of policy. It's separate from the rest of the insurance program. And my hope is that by getting this policy in place, that I'll be able to get in front of the CFO and then do some work there. So in my sales meeting with all men, very nice men, by the way, no shade. I will explain all of this in full. We were just kind of sharing prospects, what we're working on, that kind of thing. And I told those two stories. And everybody kind of went around the room. They're like, well, let's go back to Gail. And I was like, oh my gosh, how exciting. I get to get a little support from the team. And they started kind of poo-pooing, like just assuming they knew based on those things, which, you know what, maybe they're right. But they started poo-pooing everything I was doing. Well, that guy's not going to work with you because Wisconsin people like locals. That's true, but there's a solution to that, which I already have in my head. And well, if that guy thinks you're so great, why isn't he giving you his business? And then he's going to explain to his partners that, and people that he does business with, why he's not working with you, but that they should. He's like, they're not going to meet you. Um, and so it was very frustrating. I'm the only woman in the room. I'm the only person that they picked to discuss their prospects and clients. And while I am very coachable, and honestly, there was another reason. I was very just kind of put off by it. And here's the thing. I don't think any one of them was doing anything but trying to be helpful. And so that's how I'm going to take it. However, it is a symptom of what we as women deal with when we're in conversations. I may or may not have needed that advice. And while I appreciate them opening up to me and offering me any advice that they have, the way that it was presented was a little bit condescending, not a little bit, a lot condescending, and kind of like, oh, it's like she doesn't know what she's doing. Let's teach her. And it's frustrating because I worked my ass off to get up to an executive level, and now I'm here and I'm still being treated like I'm the business development girl, which honestly, I've never been. I've always been sales. It's vastly different. And then here's another situation. I was sitting in the meeting and they were all talking about, oh, hey, so and so gave me this deal. So and so and I are working on this deal. So and so didn't want to work on this deal, so they gave it to me. So and so are working together on this deal. And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, okay, well, this is exactly what it was like at my last place. It's all a bunch of men. It's all a bunch of men working together and forgetting that there's a woman in the room. I have sent deals to some of them. I'm fairly new. too new to have sent stuff to everybody, but I have sent deals to some of them. I'm working on a couple of deals with a couple of them. I have helped multiple of them. And the fact that none of them thought to come to me is frustrating. And circumstances could be at play, you just don't know. And you don't want to be the girl that's like, oh my God, they didn't pick me because I'm a girl. But having been in that situation over and over and over and over, the fact of the matter is that that is largely the reason why, as women in sales, women in high executive roles, especially sales roles, end up leaving because it is so isolating and so lonely. And then you get no offense to anybody here, but there's sometimes you get women that get up to the level that I'm at, and instead of bringing other women up so that there's more of us, they step on them. I get it. It was really fucking hard to get here, like really fucking hard. And then you get here and you're like, fuck you, I'm not helping you. It took me this long and it was this hard and I cried and so much pain and money and time. Like, figure it out yourself. I understand the mindset that goes with that. However, why wouldn't you want to make it just a tiny bit easier, get the right women up here with us, and then maybe we can start some sort of like female coalition where there's more than one of us in a fucking room. And maybe the men stop talking down to us. And whether it's out of, you know, dismissal, where they're just dismissing us because we're just the token female in the room, or whether we're they're trying to be nice and they don't realize that they're being condescending. It doesn't matter. The outcome is the same. We're the only woman in the room and they don't want to work with us. Or they do, but on their terms, on their ideals, in their manner. We don't get to work the way that we feel comfortable, the way that we want, or approach deals in a manner that makes us comfortable. We have to do things on a man's terms. And you know, it's not fun. It's not as much fun. And it's the reason why lots of women end up leaving sales and going into account management. I have considered it myself. As of last week, I was like, I don't know if I'm meant to do this. It's not just hard. I'm sitting in rooms and men are dismissive of me. Like for example, twice recently, I had conversations with two different CFOs, and both of them were talking to me, and I kept having like this question mark, like, why are they saying things in this manner? Like, I don't remember verbatim, but asking me questions about the sales process, super vague, and not as someone who would want to know how things work. And so I finally said, I'm I would be your direct person. I have a book of business. I'm in sales. I'm not business development. And they were like, oh, I just thought you were business development. And so like a light bulb went on. I'm like, oh, this is why it's so hard for me because men just assume that the woman is just the business development person and eventually she'll bring in the guy who's going to do the deal. Like, I know it's not meant to be dismissive and hurtful and mean and specifically exclusive, but holy fucking shit, is it ignorant. Like you see the woman walk in the room and you assume she's what, the assistant or the business development person or, the substitute teacher for the fucking big boy who's doing the real deal. It's exhausting. It's exhausting. It's exhausting going into these rooms, being the only woman, having to get in your masculine energy, having to, try to prove yourself and pull your big dick out along with everybody else. Like, I don't know how else to say it. It's so fucking annoying and it's frustrating. And, I want to say I've had lots of men give me a leg up, show me how to do things, bring me into rooms, introduce me to good people, bring me deals, want to work with me. So this isn't a man bashing thing, but it's prevalent and it's why there aren't very many women up in the executive level, in the boardroom, in these bigger deals. And I'm in middle market. I'm in middle market insurance. It's a lot of men. I know of one woman in my company that does this. I don't know all of them, but there's a couple that do employee benefits, and I know one that does PNC. And in my last company, there was three. I imagine there was more nationwide, but three in the Midwest. Three. One, two, three, four. Sorry, four in the Midwest. I mean, I'll stop complaining. There was a whole four of us versus the 50 guys that were doing it. So, yeah, so that's been my experience lately. It was a little bit of a light bulb moment. So now moving forward, when I'm having conversations with CFOs, I lead with, I will be your direct contact. I am a qualified executive doing the job that you think someone else is going to come in and do. Obviously, I don't say it quite that bitter and ignorant, but I'm very clear and direct, and which is a great. You know what? It's great. I had a learning lesson. I'm more clear, I'm more direct. Fine. All good. That's something that needed to happen, so great. But the other thing that needed to happen is that it's bullshit. And that's why I'm sitting here talking to you on YouTube or wherever you're seeing this, because fuck this shit. There needs to be more fucking women in the goddamn boardroom than just me. I'm here to lift other women up. We're quite capable. And if there's more of us, it can be a softer experience. It doesn't have to be quite so masculine and heavy for us. If there's more of us doing it together, I I'm in an M&A group, and the person that who's a friend of mine had the same experience in this M&A group. And she's like, there's no women, there's no women, there's no women, there's no women. Why is it all men on the panel? Why aren't there any women in the room? Why aren't there any women on the panel? What's going on? And they were like, well, stop bitching about it and do something. Poof, you're in charge. And she was like, oh, love it. Very supportive of her doing that, but she had to bring it to them and complain about it for about a year before someone said, well, then do something. Which, great, they're supportive, but also why do we have to fight for it? Why do we have to fight for it? So when we're sitting in the room with other women, bring them with you. Stop fucking stepping on other women's necks because it was hard for you. It's going to be also continue to be hard for you when there are less women in the room. Bring the qualified women up, not just because she's a woman, bring her in the room and then have her fuck up a deal and then make it harder for you to get in the room again. No, no. Vet these women. Make sure that they're qualified, just like you would a man. Vet these people, make sure they're qualified, and then bring that qualified woman into all of the rooms with you. There's more women. At the very least, you can go have a glass of wine after and complain about the men afterwards and talk about Jesus fucking Christ, like, why was this so difficult? But then there's going to be another one, and then another one, and then another one. And then you're going to see these 20-year-old women coming out of college going, look at all these badass bitches in executive level. I want to go there. And then you can pick the ones that are qualified, that have that go-getter mentality, that are going to do the work, but also be coachable and be qualified and be quality and do the right thing in every room and bring them with you. And then by the time you retire and by the time you pass the baton, there's 10 women in the room instead of just you. So I will get off my soapbox, but I just have to say that this was a very frustrating experience that I had. This all happened last week. It was all just, I had to let it sit for a minute because I was super fucking pissed and I was a little bit butthurt. And while I understand, I have a vast respect for men and a vast respect for my coworkers and a vast respect for other people that are qualified and doing what I'm doing, it still feels icky. It feels icky because it's not like I didn't prove myself and it's my first day on the job and I'm butthurt that somebody was telling me how to do better. I love their advice, but it was just I already, you know what I mean? Like maybe it's a little bit of my ego because I'm the only woman in the room. Maybe it's a little bit of my ego because I'm an executive. And, when you get to this level, you worked pretty hard to get here and you're kind of like, fuck off. I have at least some idea of what I'm doing. But it really was, it really was a negative experience, I have to say. Even with the compassion and the respect that I will give them, not fun. So, ladies, find another woman, qualify each other, make sure that both of you know what you're doing, and at the very least that you're go-getters and you're coachable and you're going to do the right thing in every room and go tackle those rooms together. There's no reason why it should be this hard and why we should be in here alone. All right. I will see you soon. See you in the next one. Hopefully, this wasn't too negative. I'm trying to keep it positive. And again, I love men. I love lots of men. All the men are great. They have been very supportive of me, except for when the deal starts happening, then they pull their bro buddy in the room and work with them instead of me. But, I'll take what I can get, I guess, until I have to get to that point. But when I'm bringing people in the room, I'm going to look around for the woman first because if the men can exclude us, we can exclude them. And, there aren't any women for me to do business with right now in my company. So I have to work with the men. They're qualified, they're really nice guys, they're going to do a good job. So really, that's all that matters. But I would like to work with more women. So, ladies, let's go. I will see you in the next one. And let me know if you have any questions. If you want to go to the free membership and Upskill Developmental, there's a lot of free downloads for you to utilize. And I also have some courses on there that are based around my experience of working my way up from the bottom. So if you have any questions, let me know. If you have any comments, let me know below and I will respond. I'll talk to you soon.